It's Golden Hour Adventure Time, featuring everyday people doing extraordinary things. From the peaks of victory to the valleys of defeat, these are their stories. Now, from the back of the pack, your hosts, Justin and Robbie.
Welcome to Golden Hour Adventures. Today we have a really cool guest, but before we get to him, I got something I got to say. Robbie, I am wearing a brand new sweatshirt, and you know how I know it's a brand new sweatshirt? It's still got the tag on it. I was like scratching my neck, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, and then I was like, what is this piece of cardboard? I tried to pull it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the tag. So, yeah, it may be a returnable item, I guess, if I don't like the sweatshirt, but it's a pretty nice one. I don't know why I just thought of that. I was like, oh, let me tell people I'm wearing hey, what were those hats like back in the day, like the early to mid 2000s? They used to leave all the stickers and stuff on them. Like,
yeah, they still do
I'm trying
now.
to bring. Oh, do they still do that?
Yeah, they do still do that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Bringing it back with sweatshirts. So I'm gonna leave the large, sticker that comes on the sweatshirt. I got my tag hanging out, so I'm high fashion here. Watch out. So
where's this fatherhood?
Oh, yes. I guess I am a father now. So it's it's crazy, honestly, to talk about, because it's a wild. I've never, me and Bethany have been married 17 years. Oh my gosh. I hope she didn't listen to this, because she's going to be like, I think it's 16 years and we're going to 17, but it could be 17 going to 18. I don't actually remember now, because I'm a father, and you don't remember things. Apparently that's what it is, right? And so I've been practicing my dad jokes, try to get one of those in once a day. You see, what else do you do? I don't know, I'm learning as I go. Robbie, you have experience. So
no sleep.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Changing diapers.
Yeah, I've become a pro at the diaper change. I think I'm doing really good at that. What I really shined at is the swaddle. Like, I am a pro at the swaddle. And so I've been crowned the unofficial swaddle king. So I gave myself the crown. But cool.
Have you got peed on yet?
Yeah. No.
No pee or poop?
No. My wife has, so that's funny, but not me. Yeah. She sleeps pretty good. My wife is going to be mad at me for saying this, but like, she wakes up with her, feeds her throughout the night. I try to get up and support, but there's just like
nothing to do.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I fall back asleep.
Yeah,
but I try to
that.
be there.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's 2 weeks old today. So as this podcast comes out, she'll probably be a month old. But yeah, so it's been a fun journey so far, and I obviously can't wait to see where it goes for the next however long I live, I guess.
Yep.
However long I live. So, anyway, what have you been up to, Robbie? We haven't talked in a while. You went down to Utah?
Went to Utah?
I mean, we've talked, obviously, but we haven't jumped on the pod.
Well, yeah, we haven't recorded. It's almost a month.
Yeah, I think it's been a month. That's crazy. Normally we're like, do 12 a weekend, and then here we are.
We see each other more than we see other people. Yeah. Just went to Utah over New Year's. Not over New Year's. Geez, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Right after Christmas. Came back before New Year's.
Gotcha.
Got an awesome run in. Some Ryan, the guy I met in Wyoming. Then I met again officially in Utah. Went for a run with him.
Cool. Such a small world, man. It really is.
Then, I ran with a couple of his buddies. They're going to be future podcast guests, so pretty excited about that.
Perfect. And you had celebrity run-ins as well, right?
I did. Small town Utah. Not quite like Boulder, but yeah, I didn't even know it was the person, one of the people. We got bombed by one guy. He was just flying downhill, and then, he was wearing all of his Nike gear. I don't really know his name, to tell you the truth. I was told he was fifth at Western States last year, but you know how I know all these people. I don't even no clue who he is.
Robbie's a perfect ultra running podcast host.
But then, we did this peak, then went back down, went across the road, and was going to do this other peak area. And through the one guy and two other people came flying by us. And the one guy's like, "You know who that girl was?" And I'm like, "I didn't even look." And he goes, "That was Leah." I'm like, "Leah Yinging?" Whatever you say it. He's like, "Yeah, and her husband." I'm like, "Cool." I didn't even care.
Just so starstruck, you didn't even know.
Dude, I didn't even know. I mean,
Should have chased him down, be
moving.
like, "Hey, you want to come on the podcast?"
You're right. I should have
That's
biffed her
awesome.
right in front of him.
That's perfect. Hey, we have a terrible podcast. You want to come on and be one of our as they're
We're
helping
just-
you up?
Yeah.
That would have been a good icebreaker, though, as you fall in on the ground, like, fighting for your life. You're like, "Hey, have you heard of Golden Hour Adventures podcast?"
That would have been good.
I just pictured that in my mind. That's hilarious. Well, today's guest is going to be a fun one. He reached out to me on Instagram and said, "Hey, do you want to throw my wipes in your pack and carry them around?" He is the creator, the founder, and the owner of Bare Butt Wipes. And so I was like, "Dude, I got to hear the story behind this." Started following him, started chit-chatting a little bit. Also, an insane endurance athlete. I saw his Strava end-of-year deal that everybody embarrassingly shares. But and throwing down some insane miles. And I was like, "Dude, we got to get this guy on the podcast. It's going to be a fun story." After 6 minutes and 47 seconds of you listening to Robbie and I chit chat, welcome to the podcast, Sam.
I appreciate it. I love hearing everything that you guys have to share. As a brief, also icebreaker for myself, just for your tag experience on your shirt, your sweatshirt. I kind of got a funny story just to help kick off this conversation. So my brother and I, fun fact, were on Family Feud, and while we were there, we had to have an attire to bring with us, and so one of those was like a paisley tie. For whatever reason, they needed it to be paisley. And so I'm like, I don't own that, nor will I ever wear it again. So we're going to go to Walmart and go buy one. And unbeknownst to me, they're pretty expensive. Ties are. And I'm like, I'm never wearing this again. So I left the tag on there. So during the run through of the game show, we're answering the questions, kind of going over some test stuff. And Steve Harvey's like, "What's that?" And you could see on my tie the side of my tag coming out. He's like, "Oh man, you must be ghetto written that." Like, I was like, I just got told on live television that I was ghetto renting a tie, but he's not wrong. I did take that back after Family Feud and returned to Walmart.
That's perfect. That's so
Yeah.
good. That's so good. What episode were you on? We gotta let everybody know.
Oh man, I'll have to look it up. I honestly I don't know. We are on their YouTube channel. If you look up like Sam and Andrew dancing on Family Feud or something, we have a funny YouTube video that they posted out there, and it was one of their top seen videos for that year, which is I think 2016 maybe 2015.
Super funny.
Yeah, but it was a fun time.
I've never heard that term ghetto renting. I'm gonna have to use
Ghetto
that. That's
renting.
fun,
I'm
dude.
like, that's legit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyways.
Well, Sam, we introduced you a little bit as the owner and operator, CEO, whatever titles you want to use for Bare Butt Wipes. But like, tell us the origin story of it. Like, how did this come up? Like, what was like the little light bulb above your head that was like, I got to have these and throw them in packs? Like, tell us the story of it.
Yeah, for sure. So back right
Did it
at
start at Family Feud? Was that the origin?
right? Yeah, I needed some bare boat wipes. That's hilarious. No, so back in the end of 2019 and in 2020, right there around when COVID kind of just had started and everything was shut down, I was already into running and had that goal, like I said earlier, about achieving the Boston Marathon. But, as anyone else knew, when COVID came, there was nothing to do. Is either you're at home or you could go out and you could run. And so that's what I did. I went out and I ran a lot. And during that time, I was training and I was going out for a lot more long runs than even I do now. And when I would go out on these long runs, I would get hit with some bowel movements. And
Bubble
I would
guts.
yes,
Taking side trails.
exactly. And I would be like in the middle of like a park or like on the middle of a trail, and either there wouldn't be a bathroom or the community bathroom was locked because of the COVID restrictions. And so I started to learn this very quickly, like I need to be prepared. So at first I just took some toilet paper, rolled it all up, stuck it in my flip belt or pants pocket, and went out on my runs. Well, I would get probably 5 miles in, sometimes 10 miles in, and I would be nowhere near a bathroom or a porta potty, and I'd be like stuck. And I would pull out the toilet paper that I'd been prepared with, and it had just completely dissolved. Like nothing could be used, salvageable. So I was like having to use leaves. I never did succumb to using a sock.
No, I was gonna. This is my next question. Like,
Yeah.
did you sacrifice a sock? Hey,
So,
as expensive as socks are nowadays, like, man, I'm not taking one of those things
That's
off.
exactly what I thought. I was like, I'm not wasting a sock. So, anyways, I would use a leaf or whatever I could find. There was one point where I found like an old McDonald's bag, and I like ripped that up and like used that, threw it away. I was like, hopefully
Oh
no
my
one
gosh,
trash.
this is too funny.
And so, on these runs, I listen to podcasts. And so one of the podcasts I listen to and I'm really intrigued with is How I Built This by Guy Raz, which is a lot of origin stories of products. And it was real inspirational for me. And so, once I realized that toilet paper wouldn't work, I started using paper towels. Those worked pretty good. But then, as you know, baby wipes. I have 3 boys. And so I started to bring baby wipes on my run. Well, what I found out is they're plastic based. They don't break down and biodegrade. So I thought, surely there's something out there, like in just a little pack that I could just, slide into my flip belt and have, kind of like those hand sanitizer wipes that you get out like a wing spot or something. And so I went online and I started researching it. I went to like the REI website. I went to like Shields. I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't find a solution anywhere. And so, I was watching listening to How I Built This stories and all these origin stories, and every single one of them, it was when they created something from scratch, it was like a problem they had, and they thought, no one's created it, so let's just go out and try to create it. And so again, like I said, this is back in 2020. I had the idea, and I knew it wasn't an innovative product, so I needed to take the approach of like it being user-friendly and accessible and something that had a catchy name to it. And so on my runs, again, like as most of us have, like you're just thinking a lot on your runs. And I thought, let's see, like outdoors, ultra running, road running, anything outdoors. So it was like bear, BARE. Well, let's play on the word bear and use BEAR in that run, that flows with butt wipe. And so I was like, that seems like a good fitting name. And so I took it back to my wife. I'm like, listen to what I came out.
She's like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And she thought, man, she honestly, she was like, that's actually not a bad idea, because I always was coming up with different silly ideas. And it was a solution to, a hobby that I had that I enjoyed, and so I could get behind it. And so early on, I went online and just started looking up like white manufacturers in America. And I found a few, and I just cold emailed them. And, a few of them emailed me back. And so I just started telling them kind of my idea. And they were like, we can kind of do that, but maybe think of it in this way. And so I had to pivot a little bit of the idea that I originally had, but it just ended up developing into that 2 sachets, like the 2 wipes connected together with perforation down the middle. Something that was versatile, that you could fold up and stick in any size pocket, that you could stick a phone into. And so I thought, man, this could be something huge if I market it correctly. And so, that's kind of how the idea came about. As you know, now I just launched it in 2024. So it took about 4 years, and there was just a lot of different life situations that happened in between that just I had to put it on the back burner for the time being. But I finally kind of pulled the trigger and started going down the path, and just thought, if I choose to not go forth with this idea, I could regret it. So might as well just like invest into myself, into something that I know I could use. It's a solution to a need that I have as a runner, and I know that other runners need it. And then the more that I thought about it, it also kind of reaches into other hobbies that I have, such as hunting, just, walking your kids in the park, like their hands get sticky, like you need something that's easy to use and not just take a whole brick of, the baby wipes that's super heavy. Or, when you go camping, backpacking, it's like, you don't want to just take a roll of toilet paper that, like I experienced, just dissolves. And so developing that, I needed to make sure it was biodegradable, eco-friendly, and was a good quality wipe. And so that's kind of the origin story of where it started and how I got to there. I ended up, developing it, and now we're in the process of grinding it out and figuring out how online sales work and marketing, and it's been a whirlwind for sure.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's really cool. Walk us through a little bit of like the behind the scenes of like, you came up with an idea, you're cold emailing or cold calling these companies to 2024, we have a launch. Like, what all goes into that? Like, you coming up with the design and like the biodegradable and like having to go back and forth. Like, I want to know like basically how that podcast you're talking about, I've listened to it a couple times, like they do the inner workings of everything, like how it became an actual product. Like, if you're comfortable with it, I'd like to hear that story.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, yeah, that's a great question, because there was a lot of like the creativity that, obviously it first came with the name. Like the name, I needed it to be catchy, something funny that could be talked about, because again, it wasn't an innovative product that I created. I didn't create wipes, I created bare butt wipes, and it's just a, simple wipe that you can use. It's versatile. Yeah, exactly. And then, the process that I took was, all right, I'm going to go to Walmart and just go down their wipe section and kind of see, what pops out to me in the aisle. And it didn't have to just be wipes. It could be any product. And so when you walk down an aisle, what you see most of the time, and at least the wipe aisle, is like just a lot of white or blue, or black. Dude wipes is black. And so I was like, man, there's nothing, that colorful or eye-catching. And so with my interest in hunting, my alma mater is the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and their colors are orange and white. I kind of put those interests together and thought, orange, there's nothing out there that's bright orange. And I wanted to use that as the backdrop and then let the letters be green. That was kind of the first initiation before I even came up with the design itself. I knew I wanted that kind of color palette. And so I started playing around with different ideas and logos. And that was early on. I started reaching out to some designers that were close friends of mine and just kind of asked, hey, here's the name. Like, can you help me try to develop some type of logo? And so he initially came out and created an actual bear. And it was the bear's butt with the bear turning around. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I think it's cool, but it wasn't like what I wanted. It wasn't, kind of siloed me into one industry, which was the trail community, hiking community. But I needed it to be be able to fit into a lot of different markets, because although I liked hunting, I like trails, I needed it to also be cohesive with the marathon area, or even, for instance, golfers, if they're out on the, golfing, they could just throw them in their golf bag. And so that's what kind of brought me to playing with a logo that kind of, resembled a butt. You'll put that B on it. Or if you turn it sideways, the idea kind of came with, it has two B's and a W on it. So I don't know, you can kind of see like two lowercase B's in it and then a W on the side.
Okay. Yeah.
That was kind of the play that I went with on it, but it was kind of like an eye-catching, sleek design, and it fit. And so I came up with that, and then went and found a software developer, and he helped me kind of put it into the necessary files and color palettes that I needed. And so with that, I then took it and went to the distributor, the manufacturer of the wipe, and we got the wipe packaging layout. And so got that, was able to, mock up something. And it's funny because you literally have to write everything that's on the pack. I mean, I know it seems like common sense, but it's like, man, there's so much to write on there and to develop. And so I just sit down and like hand write the design and the layout of like the whole back of the packaging and the front of the packaging, what I wanted. And Justin, like, I know that I gave you like a full pack of them, and there's like a little QR code on it, but like I had to come up with, the design of like where the layout is of everything. And it's real intricate. It was a lot more moving parts than I had thought, than just sit back and, boom, here comes, out pops a wine. Like it was a lot of processes and approvals, and the ingredient list had to be a certain way. And the more that you get into it, you're like, man, there's different things that I know a runner wants to see, and so you try to word things a certain way, and it has to be truthful because the manufacturer's like, oh, you can't do that because they could take it this way. And I was like, good grief. So there were months of the design basically staying the same, but the wording having, to change slightly.
Yeah.
And so again, like, that was real surprising to me. And then finally, whenever you get that approval, they have to then go out and set up the machinery. So the machinery can only run for your product, for however many, quantity, whatever quantity you order. And so they have to order like a huge roll of this cloth fiber that goes through this machine and it sprays the liquid on it to make it wet, packages it, seals it up, and then it pops it out. So the cool thing about the manufacturers, they wanted me to come on site and to see the wipes be developed and put into their packaging. And so it was really cool to get to see that hands-on. So like the first wipe that came off the line, I got to sign it and keep that. So that whole process was a lot longer than I would have thought, but it didn't take all 4 of those years. But it took the good majority of the past. I started it in 2023 again, and then it took all the way until August when we launched.
Yeah, that's
yeah. So, but yeah, and then the whole side of just developing a website, like that's a whole other thing. It's just crazy. I mean, you can create whatever you want, but like to be able to manage it is, as it's a lot of moving parts. And so this is like right now, it's just a side gig that I'm doing. It's fulfilling my passion of running and being in the outdoors. On the whole other side, I own a HVAC business. And so, I got my family at home, an HVAC business, and bare butt wipes that I do on the weekend. Yeah.
So. Now that you've launched, looking back, it took would you say 4 years?
Yeah.
What would you do different if you had to do it again?
Good question. I don't know if there would be a whole bunch that I would do different. I think, obviously, if I were to do it, the only reason that it took those 4 years primarily is because of a lot of different, such as, owning the HVAC business, that kind of got in the way. I had 3 boys in the process of all of this. So that definitely, kept me preoccupied. As far as changing anything, I don't know if I would, now that I'm getting into it, think being more prepared with maybe making better connections of because again, social media is a big part of, promoting my product. And so having more experience with that, maybe that would be something I would change. Obviously I kept running, and so that comes natural to me. But, going to these running events, I'm making connections while there, but I think I probably could have done a better job of promoting it along the way to kind of get some more encouragement during it, besides just doing it blindly sometimes. Sometimes it felt.
When Squirrel's Nut Butter came out, I was luckily I've never used anti-chafe cream, lube, whatever we want to call it.
He doesn't have thunder thighs like the vast majority of us trail runners.
Yeah, for some reason,
I'm sitting right now chafed, and so
now I'm gonna chafe on the next one.
I hope you do.
Yeah, but it was funny to me because, this product just came out kind of out of nowhere, right? And it was on the scene. Then I was looking at the ingredients, and it's just coconut oil, and they got their other ones. Now, I'm going to be honest, I thought to myself, how's this company going to make money?
Yeah.
So when I first saw it, it was little sample jars, right? And I thought that's what it was. I didn't realize the bigger jars till I got on their website and saw them.
Yeah.
But it's I have to, bite my words now, because look at that company. They're a big part of trail running. They're all over the place. I mean, they have athletes, ambassadors, all that stuff. Where do you see these bare butt wipes going in the future?
Yeah, great question. The fun, ideal thoughts that go through anyone's mind that when they look at a product and they're like, man, I wish I thought of that. Because they're so successful. One thing that with doing this, from starting something from scratch and taking it anywhere, even for the few amount of sales that I have now, it gives you such an appreciation for the work that those companies did, because it is super difficult. Now, where I see, bare butt wipes going and potentially going is, I would love to see it go to, where Squirrel's Nut Butter is. because I've seen them along the way, like when they were just running out of their garage to now. And I think that that's a huge inspiration for why I'm wanting to be where I'm at here with Bare Butt Wipes. But I think part of that Squirrel's Nut Butter did is they did a good job, not only like just selling a product, but actually using the product that they created. And so for me, Bare Butt Wipes was created for a solution that I had. And I know that other people have it because when I'm at all these other races, they come seek me out. Like even before Bare Butt Wipes, they would seek me and my wife out because they saw that we had a stroller with babies. And so they would ask us for baby wipes. And like when I first saw that, I was like, man, this could be something. So like, and that was good motivation. But again, it's not like, I didn't launch in August and then hit, 5,000 sales the first month and then, 100,000 by the end of the year. Like, that's not where we're at right now. Right now, it's just a journey. But, I would love to see this thing explode and to be, that wipe that everyone thinks of when they go out on the trail or they go out running. But one huge aspect to me achieving that, and it's the same mentality that I take with owning an HVAC business is the only way that I can see this happening, because again, it's not an innovative product, is I have to be selling something that I use. It's something that I am going to be practicing what I preach. And so with that is like every race that I sponsor, I hopefully would love to be able to do that race with the customer essentially. And so as of right now, I've done 2 races, and both of them it was too late to have signed up for them. But the 2 races of 2025 that I'm going to, I'm sponsoring both of them, handing out product and running both of them. And so that's one big thing that I've seen be successful for me and, a whole different industry. If your customer base sees, hey, this guy, he's selling something that he's actually using, it's not just some gimmicky, funny wipe, that I think is going to help me be successful and to grow it to where I think it could get.
You mentioned, we're on the topic of Squirrel's Nut Butter, and everybody who's in the trail scene and a lot of, I would assume the marathon scene knows exactly who Squirrel's Nut Butter is. And I think you're kind of walking down the same path as what they am. So yeah, they answered the question. They got a solution to a problem, right? Everybody chafes, minus Robbie, but everybody chafes. Robbie's going to tomorrow. I'm wishing it on him right now. Everybody chafes, and they came up with a solution. Yeah, there's a million different chafing creams out there, right? But they have a funny name. They are runners themselves. They have connections within the running community, and they've built what I'm about to tell you, a community, right? So they built a community, and I think you're right on that same path. Like, you're out there, you're throwing your products at people at races, you're using the product yourself, you've answered a question, you've solved a problem that people have. Because I myself, prior to Bare Butt Wipes, I carried toilet paper and a Ziploc bag. Every trail runner throws a couple rolls around your hand, toilet paper in their pack, and they go out because we're out long days in the mountains, on the hills, on the trails, hours at a time. Nature happens, right? We need something to answer the problem. And you've created that. And so, like, I think you're right on the path. I know nothing about business, but, like, community is what I think sells these products when it comes to trail running and, ultra running and that type, the hunting community. I'm a little bit in the hunting community as well. And so, like, I know that, like, when you sell a product to name the niche and they like it, they're going to sell it to their friends, right? And then so on and so forth. And so I think you're doing the right things, man, and you're there. Obviously, I wish you nothing but the best, but, like, you're there, you're doing the things, and that's awesome. That's what I was going to, say is, like, have you thought about, jumping into races? But you're already there.
Yeah, and and it's fun. Like, that's exactly why I got into it, because it's a huge goal to create something just like Squirrel's Nut Butter. And it's a lot of investment. It's a lot of time away from home. And, my kids love it, honestly, because they're like, I get to say butt. They're like, they're butt wipes, and they feel like they're cussing. So it's fun, it's a great time. And as you guys both know, like, my history was playing sports in high school, and it was football. But when I got out of football, like, I wasn't in that team camaraderie that I had. So I needed to go find that. In every single marathon race that I do, it's like like you just did, Robbie. Like you met someone in Wyoming and then you go run with them in Utah. Like it's just so easy to just connect with these people and the community. You hit the nail on the head. Like that is exactly what it takes. And when you have a community and you trust them, then anything that they offer, then they're going to be like, yeah, that's great. So that is something that I have a passion for, and I find that in the running community itself.
Yeah, that's cool. What are the two races in 25 that you're well, I guess we're in 25, but what are the two races that you're sponsoring?
Yeah, so I live in Tennessee, Nashville, a suburb of Nashville, Tennessee. And both of these races are actually out east, right on the border of Knoxville, Tennessee, and North Carolina. The first one is in 2 weeks, and it's called the Sali, but it's spelled TSALI. The Sali Ultra Race. It's a 50K and half marathon, I believe, and it's on the, I think it's called the Sali River or something. It's a recreation area. And then the other one, it's called the Pistol Ultra Run event, and it's 100 miles, 100K, 50 miles, 50K, and then I think full marathon and half marathon. In that one, I'll be doing 100K, and so I haven't yet done a full 100 miler. I would love to, but with working it, with juggling with my kids coming with me to set up the event, I thought, let's just stick to 100K. I know it's a lot.
Just
it's still
100K.
Yeah, exactly. It's still a lot, but
you're just gonna run 62 miles.
Yeah, that's whatever. That's the reaction I get every time. I'm like, I think I can do it. So we'll see. But
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited.
No,
yeah,
cool.
and then after that, we'll be doing. I'm doing a relay race for the first time. I think it's a 200-mile relay race with 6 other guys.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, have you heard of the Ragnar series? Similar to that, we're going to have a van in each leg of the race. We're going to split it up amongst the 6 of us.
Cool. Awesome. Well, you mentioned a little bit about your running. Like, what is where did you find passion in running, and where have you gone? You mentioned a little bit at the beginning about wanting to Boston qualify, all that.
Yeah.
Take us down your running journey.
Yeah, cool. So when like I said, I played football in high school, and so I was a lot bigger in high school. I was at the end of my senior year, I weighed around 220, 225. And then after that, I wasn't working out. I didn't know what to do with my time. And so I was like, man, I gotta get rid of this football weight. Otherwise I'm just going to be, a good old boy going back to his high school on Friday nights, watching his alma mater. And so I was like, all right, I got to get into something. And I was kind of getting tired of lifting weights and doing sprints that we did in football. So I just popped in some earbuds and just started hitting the road, running miles. And so it started there to lose weight, and then just kind of morphed into kind of pushing the boundaries of what I could see myself doing. And so probably, I think 4 years into my running journey, I got into thinking, hey, let's try to, run this Boston Marathon. I ran the Rock and Roll running series in Nashville. They have a race, and I did that. And I was like, I think I could do the Boston Marathon. And I didn't solve the qualifying standards. And at my age, it was under 3 hours. I'm like, oh my word, this is going to be crazy. I don't even know how to do this. And so I just started running tons of miles. I was probably averaging anywhere from 50 to 70 miles a week. And just by doing that, I subsequently started getting faster. And so I went and did a qualifying race out in Geneva, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. And it's just like a loop course, and they call it the Last Chance BQ race. And so I went out there and I crossed the finish line at 2 hours and 58 minutes.
Awesome.
And so I submitted my time, and as you know, typically it's on a lottery. And so even if you get under your qualifying time, if your age group submits more than what the submission group number is, then they'll take like a 10-minute buffer. So you have to then run 10 minutes faster than that under 3 hour cutoff. And so luckily, my year, there was no buffer, and it was anyone that qualified in their age group was able to run the race. And so I was super blessed to be able to get that opportunity. And funny enough, that year's Boston Marathon was the day of my 20th birthday. So
Cool.
I got to run the Boston Marathon on my birthday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a real cool experience. That same year, I ran another marathon in Detroit, got another sub 3 hour marathon. submitted that to the Chicago Marathon. So right now I'm sitting at 2 major marathons under my belt, and I would love to accomplish all of them. I think they just added Melbourne, Australia. And
I have no idea.
There's a new one. But now, that's my overall goal, but I have a lifetime to achieve that. So that's kind of the long-term goal. Now it's focusing on bare butt wipes and getting out to as many races that will accept me. And so I'm excited to do that, to start getting into more of the ultra scene, because it's more intimate than the marathon, because marathon has just kind of exploded, and the ultra marathon is also exploding, but not to that level of like a Boston or Chicago marathon. It's more manageable, and like, it's more, I don't know, it just seems more intimate. And so I love getting to get into this early on. And just like the marathon scene, the ultra marathon group of people is just great. They're super nice.
I haven't run 100-miler yet that's been manageable, so I don't know where you're
I'm estimating everything here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
No, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what ultras have you run?
So there was one here in Nashville that I ran last year. It was a 50-mile race. It was on the Natchez Trail here in Tennessee. It wasn't the full Natchez Trace, but we did just a little loop. You ran out 25 miles and then turned around and came back. It was a fun race. Unfortunately, I don't even know where it happened, but I ended up getting pneumonia a week and a half before. And so I was trying to kick it out of my system, and the antibiotics were working for me. And I was like, I signed up for this race and I already paid for it. I'm doing it. And against my wife's will, she did not want me to do it. And I did it anyways. And I do regret that decision, but I did finish with pneumonia. So I could go to my grave saying I did a 50-mile race with pneumonia.
That's awesome. Now, did you go from the marathon straight to the 50-mile, or did you do a 50K in between? Or
I did. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably not the smartest decision, but I did.
It's a good decision.
Robbie, you got something similar, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't do any marathons. Just right to 50K.
Straight to 50K. If I never did a marathon, I'd be like, no way can I do 30 miles.
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
Yeah, my longest training run before my 50K was 15 miles.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So 15 to 30, one.
Yeah. Just double. What's the difference?
Yeah, you just double it.
Yeah, it didn't hurt at all.
Yeah. As you're drilling into your toenail, getting the blood,
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, we do quick fire questions, and so we have not prepared you. We don't even know what the questions are. I'm not asking the question. I don't know what the questions are. We're making them up as we go.
Yeah.
Robbie, send them away.
All right. This one's going to be easy, the first one. Favorite shoe.
Okay. Hey, I was on Family Feud, so watch out.
Favorite shoe.
Favorite shoe, Saucony.
Any
a specific shoe or just the brand?
Let's go specific.
Okay, I like the Endorphin Speed.
Okay. Go-to nutrition.
Oh, honestly, I like the Bare Performance Protein.
I haven't tried that one.
Heard of that one.
Is that Nick Bear?
Yeah, Nick Bear.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't tried any of this stuff yet.
It's good. It's good.
I know I looked at it, but I still haven't bought any of it. If you could be a dinosaur, which dinosaur would you be?
Ooh.
Man, that's a good one. Pterodactyl. They can fly.
I want to pick the same thing. I always pick things that can fly because I'm like...
everyone would probably say T-Rex, but you don't want it. You can't reach anything.
Flo, it's got to be the Velociraptor.
No, that's true. That's true.
I'd go with the T-Rex because you could just fly... Or the Triceratops. Jeez.
Oh my gosh, a flying T-Rex? That'd be
that'd be scary. Sorry. I'd go with the flying dinosaur too because then you could just fly away. So that's what always comes to my head.
They actually, way off topic here, I have read multiple times that they think the T-Rex was a flying animal.
What?
And that's why its hands were so small, like kind of bird-like, that like it had wings, but like their wings, I guess, were hollow or whatever. And so when they decayed and they just didn't have wings with them. But I've read multiple places, like, yeah, can you imagine a T-Rex like flying around?
I could see that argument.
That'd be scary. The thing just comes flying in.
Welcome to Golden Hour Adventures. We talk about dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly.
Great question, Robbie.
Yeah, I love that.
Now I got to top that one.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna bring it back. Let me rephrase this. Now's not lightning. I'm not gonna be able to do this. All right.
Building the anticipation here.
Yeah. I was
Let's
just
see
trying
quick fire, Robbie.
I know. I was trying. I can't quick fire this one. Maybe I'll just not quick fire it. So you created bare butt wipes. What else would you like to create in the future?
Good idea. Okay. So I'm going to stick, because I have had so many different ideas, but we're going to stick to what could be a brother or sister of bare butt wipes. And I thought of a next step item for myself, and I would be calling it bear spray. And it would be a Febreze for the bathroom.
Nice. Like it. As someone who carries bear spray with them, I'm going to be nervous switching those back and forth.
Your wife would be like, you switched them again. It's not working.
Dang it.
The kid got the wrong one.
Oh,
You could just
awesome.
make, you could make the bear spray actually smell like bear spray, but without the
The
harsh,
burn, yeah.
the
Yeah,
harsh
without the
burn.
burn.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know what it
burns.
smells like, and I don't feel like I want to find out, but too good.
Yeah.
Too good.
All right. That's all I got for the quick fire questions.
Awesome.
I love it.
Well, Sam, we'll give you a minute to shout out who you want to shout out. Where can people find you? Social medias, website. I would say the platform's yours, but it's been yours the whole time, so carry it away.
I appreciate it, guys. So if I were to shout out anyone, it would probably be, Mike McKnight. He's a good ultra runner out there. He's really been helpful to me. Also Spike, and he's out there. He's actually, I'm forgetting his name.
Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor Spike. Yeah. Great guy. He's been a huge help to me. Work Epic is an up-and-coming brand. It's a coffee energy supplement for just any endurance athlete. They've been a huge help to me as I started up. So if you want to follow anyone new, those are some good guys to go and follow. My Instagram is at Bare Butt Wipes, or just a small up-and-coming white butt wipe product. So give us a follow. I'd love to, connect with everyone out there and give you any samples if you want to try us out. And then you can find us online at barebuttwipes.com as well as on Amazon. And you can just look up Bare Butt Wipes. Would love to send any new guys some product or girls product and to go out on the trails. And then I don't know. What was the other question?
That was it.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Good to go. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's been, it's great hearing the kind of the origin of everything.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys. This is my first podcast, so it was a fun one to get to do just because I listen to so many different podcasts. So, I've always wondered what the backside of it is like. And
Well, your next one will be way more professional than this one.
no way.
But
This is
you'll
going to
always remember your first. We popped your
the
cherry.
one. I love it. No, this is always going to be, the one that I always can think of and will reference. And, I look forward to sticking with you guys for the long haul.
Awesome. Great. Well, hey, if you love Sam's podcast, please leave us a like, leave us a share, leave a comment on the Instagram post. Let's get Bare Butt Wipes out there. If you're on the trails, you need to have something to wipe your butt with. And so why use toilet paper when you could use Bare Butt Wipes? Like it, share it, and we'll see you on the trails.